Ooh, it's like the Matrix. Oh, it's funny. I'm watching Johnny Mnemonic. Interesting. This has to be by far the coolest. Like, they call it the jukebox, but it's like the coolest sound test menu. Well, that's like John Carpenter music. Never noticed that before. But listening to this now, it's very like John Carpenter's The Thing. Halloween 3. Holy shit. Too cool. I'm gonna do a new game here. It's a classic. Do it on normal. Alright, there we go. Alright guys, well welcome back to Rob's Arcade. I'm your host, Mr. Rob French. Doing a little flashback. Make sure I remember what everything does here. Okay, I remember that. Awesome. Now we're doing a flashback retro rewind here on this weekend. This was, gosh, one of my favorite games to rent back in the day. you'll have to excuse me. Definitely coming down with some kind of a summer cold. Yesterday I could feel it coming on, and today it's all in my eyes and my nose. Throat's a little scratchy here. I want to hang out with you guys and do a little retro rewind. This is where I take a look at games that I used to play growing up as a teenager, 12, 13, 14 years old, on the Sega Genesis. Typically, I would rent games from the local video store. Would rent movies as well. Right now, we're watching Johnny Mnemonic, which kind of goes along with this type of game here. We're going to hit a little hollow cube scene real quick, but one of the things about this game, other than just some of the, it's a very pixelated game, as you can see. Back in the 90s, early 90s, this was super cutting edge in terms of the movements and like just the animations, and then of course just the opening cutscene where you have this really cool, almost cinematic piece, which is one of the reasons why I like to play this game. It was very cinematic, and I'm just a huge um, like movie person myself. Here we go. Hey, it's me. Good question. But it would take too long to explain, and time is short. So instead of explaining, we're going to send you on a mission. There we go. All right. So there we have it. Excuse me. All right. So as we see here, you play Conrad, and you kind of like wake up in this world with like no real memories of like who you are, um, and what you're doing here, which is kind of cool because I kind of feel like that's typical um, for a lot of games where you kind of just start off. You don't really like, the world's new, the characters are all new, and you're trying to figure it out. And this gives you that like, oh, that's really see, like that. That was something where you just saw that little, um, and that was something that was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, kind of a thing. And something like this animation here, um, the fluidity of it, fluidity of it. There we go. You get that like cool draw motion. The shell pops up. You get the smoke off the side of the screen, little sparks. Cartridge. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. I love all of it. One of the things that really stuck out when I first started playing this game when I was younger was just like the levels of like art design that gave the illusion of like depth and that like 3D Um, oh, those things are a beast. Um, oh shoot, it kind of lent itself to that. Like it looks deeper than just a 2D platformer. Like there's a element of um, oh shoot, depth to it that most games didn't have. And then also like the adventure sense of this game where ooh, we're both at each other at the same time. On. There we go. Let me see something here. I've only got one shield left. Gotta be careful. Ooh, cartridge. Pick that up. But a lot of SEGA games at the time had crazy like characters, you know, fast running hedgehogs and crazy weird looking cats and just all this wild stuff. So to get a game like this, oh no, but this sense of like realism and adventure was really cool. And then it was like also kind of coming on the cusp at the same time as like Total Recall movies. Again, I'm watching Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves, and there was something about that '90s like storytelling where you know your memories and your mind uh, weren't always your own, and energy generator. Oh wait, can I charge this shield? I think you can. Boom, that's beautiful. And then what about the cartridge? Can we charge the cartridge? Beautiful. Like I said, this game was coming out in a time of really cool science fiction films and what those all look like um, in the 90s kind of reflected in some of this storytelling and gameplay like Total Recall um, for sure. Uh, I feel like even Wolverine was a character who was getting his backstory in the 90s and in the 80s, and his whole story of not really knowing who he was and false memory implants and the mutants got him. He's got a pretty mouth. But just the story itself, I just always remember going back and wanting to rent this game. I feel like it was kind of a sleeper too. You know, like games like Road Rash, again like Sonic 2, different things like that. I feel like everybody was very quick to get to the video store and rent those titles as they were coming out. But Flashback was one I feel like many people didn't really know about. So it was like always just sitting on the shelf, which was like great news to me. And then eventually I did wind up purchasing this title here. because I enjoyed it so much. One of the things I want to point out here is like you've got these, backgrounds that are very like Ewok um, reminiscent to me when I look at them. It screams Ewok Village. Uh, but then also it does have that like almost like if you really look at like Return of the Jedi sense to it, where you have like these um, 80s style looking factory machines and computer stations. But then there's also these little like wavy green things like floating around through the ground. And then we would come over here. You got this crazy like energy beam, where if you touch that, it'll just like completely um, disintegrate you, which I don't want to do because we've made some pretty good progress. But it's a really cool animation. And then again, I mean, even today, like looking at this, it kind of reminds me like what anime was able to do with some of the same ideas of having like kind of simple 2D images where you have like just one 2D image and another kind of like 2D image and these like, just flat images stacked on top of each other but colored different, layered differently to kind of give this depth where it looks like that jungle behind you just goes on and on. And that was something similar in some of the styles of anime where an image might not even really be moving, but the camera's just kind of passing over a still image in two different directions. Oh, that's cool. Where is this? Oh, this is now where we kind of started off at. Oh, wait, remember, arm the stone, throw it. Boom. Ooh, that just came back to me. That just literally, that's crazy. All right, actually, let me see if I remember how to do this teleporter thing here. How does that work? Stone, hollow cube. Maybe I could take it back to the guy. Wait, where's my phone? What I do with my phone? Sorry, hold on, guys. Oh. Let's see here. No, wait, wrong. I think this is right. This. Don't run into the beam. Yeah, I bought this game actually for, gosh, like super cheap. I think like maybe 10, 15 bucks from um, KB Toy Store, actually. And it was one of my favorite titles. It was very similar to a title a friend of mine used to play called, I think it was like Out of This World or Outworld or something. And I remember we um, traded, and they were very similar in terms of like animation. It might even been the same company, some of the same developers who worked on them. Um, yeah, gotcha. Got it right here. Whoa. What? Oh, that was the ID card I was missing earlier when I was trying to play this and figure this out before. Oh man, this is so cool. Some of it kind of reminds me a little bit of Jurassic Park on Sega Genesis as well. I remember being super upset. I mentioned I had this game for a while. Had a lot of really cool Sega Genesis games. I think Jurassic Park was another one, which I've since repurchased to put back into my collection. But I remember being really brokenhearted. I went to my sister's once, like it was like 20 years ago, to help her put in some, I think some speakers or hook up some speakers or something for like a party she was having. And just seeing where I'm at there. And I remember being like really excited because she still had all of these like titles we used to have as kids for the Sega. And I was just like, no way, you still got all these titles, and this is crazy. Um, oh, wait a minute, hold up. There's like a key card I have to get from somewhere. I think you erase that, and then I'm able to go down there maybe. Solve puzzles. But I remember being really excited because she still had all this stuff like Sonic 2 and all the games we used to play growing up. Um, no, oh, shoot. Oh, shoot is right. No bueno. I remember being, like I say, super excited. She still had all this stuff, and just being way too tired to get into any of those games at that time. But just thinking to myself, like, oh man, I'm gonna have to go back and borrow this system. I think it was like actually like her Sega system. I've mentioned in other videos at one point she got her own Sega of the second model. Um, and I believe the game collection was some of both of ours. I remember she had like her game like Kid Chameleon was in there and a few other things. But she wound up like at some point selling all of it. including my Flashback title, which absolutely killed me. But it's cool. Like, I've since been able to go back and pick it up on a PlayStation. So, it's like one of my favorite things about this system isn't so much like being able to play, oh shoot, new games so much. But also being able to go back and play some of the older games from my past. What to say? I need a energy generator stat. Well, guys, I hope you like this game. I hope you're enjoying this. This is one of my more favorite of the Sega Genesis titles that I used to play. Probably like up there on like my top 5. In fact, it might be my all-time. Now that I think about it. Like that kind of movement right there is just super slick. Okay, they should be able to do this. Do this. Key card. No way. Nice. Well, there we go, guys. I hope you have, like I said, enjoyed this game. Please make sure you comment down below, like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. Until next time, don't spend that quarter anywhere else. Thanks for hanging out.